The finality of a phone call, the silence that descends after the line goes dead, is usually the definitive end of a conversation. But what happens when that silence is broken, not by a new call, but by a message left after the speaker is no longer among the living? Tonight, we unravel a chilling anomaly, a modern ghost story woven into the fabric of our everyday technology. The tale of a man who left a voicemail after his death, a message that carried a voice undeniably not his own. Mark Olson was a man of routine, his life punctuated by the familiar rhythms of work, family, and the comforting presence of his wife, Emily. His sudden passing in a car accident sent a shockwave through their small, quiet town. The funeral was a blur of sorrow and disbelief, the weight of loss heavy in the air. Emily, numb with grief, found solace in the familiar objects Mark had left behind, tangible reminders of a life tragically cut short. His phone, lying on his bedside table, remained untouched for days, a silent testament to a voice now forever stilled. A week after Mark's burial, Emily was sorting through his belongings, a task both heartbreaking and necessary. Her fingers brushed against his phone, and a sudden impulse prompted her to turn it on. The screen flickered to life, displaying a missed call notification and a single unheard voicemail. The caller ID simply read, "Unknown number." Frowning, Emily tapped the voicemail icon, her heart aching at the thought of hearing Mark's voice again, even in a recorded message. The automated voice of the voicemail system announced the time and date the message was received, the day after Mark's death. A chill snaked down Emily's spine. Who would have called Mark after he was gone? And why from an unknown number? With a hesitant finger, she pressed play. The first few seconds were filled with silence, a static hiss the only sound. Then a voice began to speak, low and guttural, a voice that was undeniably male but utterly unlike Mark's. It was deeper, raspier, with a strange, almost mechanical quality to it. The words were disjointed, chilling fragments that made no sense. "He's with us now, the bargain is struck, the silence forever." Emily's blood ran cold. This wasn't Mark. This couldn't be Mark. Her mind raced, searching for any logical explanation. A wrong number? A prank? But the timing, the day after his death, was too unsettling, too specific to be a mere coincidence. She played the voicemail again, her hand trembling as she held the phone to her ear, the distorted voice sending shivers down her spine. She shared the voicemail with Mark's best friend, David, hoping for a rational explanation. David listened intently, his face growing increasingly pale as the garbled message played. He confirmed Emily's fear. The voice was nothing like Mark's. They tried to trace the unknown number, but it was untraceable, a digital ghost that left no footprints. The voicemail became a dark enigma, a disturbing puzzle piece in the already shattered landscape of Emily's grief. They considered the possibility of a cruel prank, but who would perpetrate such a heartless act? And how would they have known to leave a voicemail the day after Mark's death? The more they listened to the message, the more a sense of profound unease settled upon them, a feeling that they had stumbled upon something truly unnatural. As the days turned into weeks, the voicemail remained a haunting secret, a digital specter that Emily couldn't bring herself to delete. She played it late at night, the distorted words echoing in the silence of her empty house, each repetition deepening the mystery and fueling her growing fear. The fragmented phrases seemed to hint at something sinister, a dark transaction that had occurred around Mark's death. Emily started to delve into the days leading up to Mark's accident, searching for any unusual occurrences, any strange encounters. She spoke to his colleagues, his friends, anyone who might have noticed something out of the ordinary. Mark had seemed his usual self, perhaps a little preoccupied with a new project at work, but nothing that would have suggested a bargain or any kind of sinister arrangement. The local police, initially sympathetic to Emily's distress, were skeptical of the voicemail. They suggested it was likely a prank or a technical glitch. But the lack of any identifiable caller and the unsettling content of the message left even the most seasoned officers with a sense of unease. They opened a preliminary investigation, but with no leads and no discernible motive, the case quickly went cold. Driven by a need for answers, Emily turned to online forums dedicated to paranormal phenomena, sharing the story of the voicemail, hoping someone might have encountered something similar. The responses ranged from outright disbelief to wild speculation. Some suggested demonic possession, others spoke of interdimensional communication. While most theories were outlandish, a few resonated with a chilling familiarity, tales of voices from beyond the grave using technology as a conduit. One response in particular caught Emily's attention. A user shared a similar experience, a voicemail received after the death of a loved one, also from an unknown number, also containing a distorted voice speaking cryptic phrases. The user spoke of a local legend, a dark folklore surrounding unexplained deaths, and whispers carried on the telephone lines after someone had passed. The legend spoke of ancient entities, beings that dwelled in the liminal spaces between worlds, sometimes making contact with the living through unexpected channels, their voices distorted and their messages cryptic, often tied to the circumstances of death or the fate of the departed soul. The story chilled Emily to the bone, echoing the unsettling nature of the voicemail she had received. With a renewed sense of purpose, Emily began to research the local history of her town, delving into old archives and forgotten folklore. She discovered unsettling tales of unexplained deaths throughout the town's history, whispers of dark pacts and untimely demises. One recurring theme was the idea of unseen forces at play, entities that claimed souls in exchange for unknown favors. As Emily's research deepened, she remembered a strange conversation she had overheard Mark having on the phone a few weeks before his death. He had been speaking in hushed tones, his side of the conversation fragmented and cryptic. She had dismissed it at the time, attributing it to a work call, but now, the pieces began to fall into place with a terrifying clarity. He had mentioned a deal, and the need for silence. Could Mark have been involved in something dark, something that had ultimately led to his death? Had the voicemail been a message from those he had made a bargain with? The thought was horrifying, painting a picture of her beloved husband that was utterly alien to the man she thought she knew. Driven by a desperate need to understand the truth, Emily decided to revisit the scene of Mark's accident. It had occurred on a remote stretch of road, a place with a history of its own, rumored to be the site of tragic events decades prior. As she walked the lonely roadside, a strange feeling washed over her, a sense of being watched, of unseen eyes upon her. She noticed something she had missed before, a small, antique coin lying half-buried in the dirt near where Mark's car had crashed. It was unlike any coin she had ever seen, its surface etched with strange symbols that seemed to writhe under her gaze. A wave of dizziness washed over her as she picked it up, a faint, almost imperceptible whisper seeming to echo in her mind. Back home, Emily researched the coin, her unease growing with each passing hour. She discovered it was a relic associated with ancient rituals, often used in symbolic transactions or offerings to appease dark entities. The symbols on its surface were linked to folklore about bargains made with otherworldly forces. The pieces of the puzzle clicked into place with a sickening finality. Mark's hushed phone conversation, the cryptic voicemail, the strange coin found at the accident scene, they all pointed towards a terrifying conclusion. Had Mark made a deal, a desperate bargain that had ultimately cost him his life? And was the voicemail a message from those who had collected their due? Emily never deleted the voicemail. It remained on Mark's phone, a chilling reminder of the unanswered questions and the unsettling darkness that had touched her life. The phone became a tangible link to the inexplicable, a modern artifact of a horror that defied logic and understanding. The unanswered unknown number continued to haunt her caller ID, a silent threat that could break the silence at any moment. The question lingers, heavy and unsettling. In our technologically saturated world, have we inadvertently opened new channels for the uncanny, new pathways for the darkness to reach us? What happens when the voices of the dead return, not as mournful echoes, but as cryptic warnings from an unseen realm? And what price do we pay when bargains are struck beyond the veil of life? That chilling voicemail, what do you think it meant? Have you ever experienced anything unexplainable through technology after someone has passed? Share your unsettling stories and theories in the comments below. If this tale of digital dread has gripped you, be sure to subscribe for more explorations into the terrifying intersection of technology and the supernatural. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a new descent into darkness.